Well. Another day of glory, of God's grace, mercy, and visitation. So, welcome everyone. Hope you all got the notifications already. Adedamola is the first person today. Obi is the second. Where is Shegun Fatuma? Tokumbo Talks. Shegun Fatuma is our record breaker. Lola Faye, Mashu Esong, Bill Muna, Terry, Akim Latifu, right. Magnolia, Ovie, Lola Shoronke, Bukuola, welcome. Kike, Niyi, Purity Life, that's Pastor Sufficient right there. Akim Fe, Demidenka Yuri, Bill Wilson, Paul Wilson, really. Victor Ogundikwe, I asked you for your Skype. You sent it to me. I sent you a message on Skype for like 1 month now. You've not replied me. You don't check your Skype message, I guess, Victor. So, that is interesting. So, Victor, will you check your Skype and reply my message to you? Nico Garcia, Fernando, Patson, Anthony Finch, Yemi Cizia, Sandra, Bova, Olabayo John, Tina Flourish, Adedeji is here from Michigan, Olushola, Nkem, good morning, Benga, Shibuike, Nkiru is here. Oh yeah, Nkiru, thank you. We need to share the message, by the way. Let's begin to invite our friends. I forgot to say that. Right, I got caught up. I got carried away by, welcoming all of you. Let's go invite our friends. Let's go invite people to come and join us, okay? Let's go invite people to join us. All right. I'm continuing to treat the topic of debt today. And my thinking about this topic today, what I want to really talk about is that debt must be paid. And some people would not like that, I'm sure. Some people will not like that, but what I'm trying to say is that pay that debt. If we are going to be good Christians, and not just Christians, if you are going to be responsible citizens, don't hope for miracle when it comes to debt. And so many people, they go and beg for money, put on their emotional dress, get the debt and the money, they borrow the money they need, and then they begin to go to church and ask God for leniency. And one of the things that some of us pray for in churches is that God should cancel our debt. And that God should have mercy on us and cause the person who gave us the money to forget about it. So sometimes we ask the person who gave us, God to talk to the person who gave us the money, that the person will forgive us. And that the person will just let go of his money. That is not fair. That's not fair at all. If we are saying that God is a just God, if God is a God of righteousness, is a God of uprightness, then, when it comes to debt, you should know that that person that gave you that money needs it even more than you do. In the sense that he had that money and you were asking for favor and he decided to have mercy on you. So if God was going to be on the side of anybody, God is not going to be on your side. God is going to be on the side of the lender, of the person who gave you that money. Because he was trying to help you. He was trying to come to your aid. He was trying to help you. He was trying to just help you. He was trying to be a human being, right? He was just trying to be a human being to you. But when you begin to ask God to tell him not that not to allow you to pay his debt, or you say, oh, I want to pay, I really want to pay, but I just don't have what to pay. Well, you were supposed to have thought about that before. You are supposed to have thought about that before. So if God is going to be on the side of anybody, he's going to be on the side of the person who gave you that money. All right? That's the person God is going to side with. And it's not fair to be asking God to cancel your debt when the person that gave you the money is having his own needs and is having his own problems, his own challenges. And he's waiting on that money. He's hoping on that money to come. He's praying that God will bless you, or that God will give him money, or that God will use you to bring his money back, or that God will even bless him in one way or the other. Everybody needs money in this world. So, that argument that sometimes comes to your mind that he doesn't need that money, he's rich, he is well to do. Why should he be bothering about a small amount of money that I owe him? Why should he make a big deal of that? Well, it's you thinking that he has money. It's you thinking that he's rich. But everybody knows where the shoe pinches them. Everybody knows where they're having challenges. Maybe you think he's wealthy looking at him from outside or from where he is, but can you believe it? Sometimes I myself, I don't even have $1. Most of the time, I don't even have $1 in my house, in my pocket, even in my house sometimes. I don't even have $10 in my house. It's not because I'm not worth millions, but it's because money must be working for you. You shouldn't be keeping money in the house. And if your money is working for you, it's impossible for you to just go and withdraw it from that business because the business is busy. And it's just impossible to stop the business just because you need $10 or $100 or $1,000. So some of the time, the people who are rich are mostly broke. And there is a difference between being poor and being broke. The person that is rich, that is poor. He doesn't have money. He is always in constant need of money. He's in crisis. That is, he doesn't have money in his pocket, but he not just doesn't have money in his pocket. He doesn't have money in investment. He doesn't have money in assets. He doesn't have money waiting for him anywhere. But the person who is broke, the only thing that is common between the person who is broke and the person who is poor is that the person who is broke also doesn't have money. But the person who is poor doesn't have money anywhere. But the person who is broke has money in investments, or has money in assets, or has money in property, or has money in different places, but is broke because he doesn't have liquidity. He's broke because he doesn't have liquidity. He's broke because he doesn't have money in hand. But the fact that he doesn't have money in hand, that's why he's broke, but that doesn't make him poor. So what I'm trying to say is that even though people might be wealthy, but most wealthy people are always broke. Most rich people are always broke. And they are broke not because they don't have money or because they are poor. They are broke because they are calculating, because they are calculative. Because the money they have, they release it to work for them. Because they are broke because they don't keep money in their hands. They are broke because they are following the laws of money. They are broke because they know that money must not just be kept. And so be looking at you. And money, should be working for you on a regular basis. So they are making the money work for them. So that is why they are broke. They are broke on the return of their investment. But when their investments come, they are no more broke. And so they are not poor. So what I'm saying is that the person that you are saying is rich might be broke. The person that you say doesn't need that money might be in need of the money because he's broke. He doesn't have money right now. And so you don't, assume for somebody else. You don't begin to say that person has enough money and he shouldn't be asking for the money back. Responsibility and just Christian, pure Christian virtue, just being a good Christian, what do you call that? Just being faithful as a Christian, just being responsible as a Christian, and being a good stewardship as a Christian demands that you pay back what you took from somebody, that you pay back your debt. Pay back your debt. Somebody, Vivian Taylor, is saying a spouse's death caused debt you can't pay sometimes. What should one do in that situation? Oh, I mentioned that yesterday. So you need to go back to listen to some of my teachings yesterday, 2 days ago, last week. I've been talking about situations like this. So, we need to answer that now. You could just go back to one of the old messages and listen to how to save, how to, and all that. So, anyway, how to manage your money. You see a lot of topics that will really address that. So, what I'm saying is that, the basic message I want to give to you today is your debt. You have to be determined to pay your debt. Even if the debtor does not want you to pay the money, if the debtor is saying, okay, maybe you shouldn't pay or you might not pay, responsibility and, good Christian virtue is telling you that, go and pay anyway. If you have to gather the money, take it to him. If he wants to forgive you, let him forgive you and return the money back to you. But, good attitude, Christian attitude is that you don't assume that the person will forgive you. You don't assume that God will forgive you. Do what you need to do. And the right thing to do is that you say, you know what? I own this money. I took this money in the first place and I need to pay. So even if you want to return it, you return it if you want, but I'm going to pay the money that I own. And so what are the steps that I want to give you today? When you take the decision to pay your debt, that is one of the means of taking responsibility, really. So you are taking responsibility upon yourself, and also not just taking responsibility, you are telling yourself that I want to change. You are trying to work on yourself. You are trying to make yourself a better person. Because the reason why you got into debt in the first place is that you had some wrong value system going on for you. You have some, some wrong beliefs, or you made mistakes, or you had some wrong decision-making process. You have made some bad decisions, and you've got to face it. And one of the ways that for you to correct your wrong decisions, or to amend your ways, and to fix some of the wrong value system that you had, or some patterns and some habits that you might have had, you will not fix that habit just by taking the decision that you are going to change. You don't change by not paying the price. If you really want to change, you must pay the price. So if you have some wrong habits, if you have some wrong attitudes, and some decision-making process that are wrong, and you really want to be changed for good and change for long, you want to pay the price, and that price has to be painful. And one of the painful prices that you need to pay if you really want to change for real, want to change your core values, is that you pay your debt. And of course, you don't have the money. Nobody has the money to pay his debt. And I just like, it's forgiving that nobody wants to pay his debt. Nobody has the money. Everybody say, I don't have the money. Well, that's why you must listen to what I've been teaching 2 days ago or all this week, and follow the principles. And you need to begin to downsize yourself. You need to begin to cut your appetite, and cut your taste, and begin to slice your ego if necessary, and begin to put yourself under some stringent restraints, so that those restraints are the process of change of those are the restraints and the process that changes you. So the process of putting restraints in place, the process of making yourself to do what you don't really like to do, the process of cutting your budget, cutting your expenses, cutting your slicing your taste, slicing your ego, cutting your coat according to your size. All those processes are the things that really change you. We don't change otherwise. We only change because of constraints. We only change because of pain. We only change when we are really, it's so painful enough for us that it's no more convenient for us to keep on living that way, because we need to get out of that pain. So, sometimes you need to cause the pain to come to your own life by yourself. You need to invite the pain, and you invite the pain, and that pain, and you go through the process, that it will cause you to change and to become a better person. So, stop waiting for miracles when it comes to debt. Stop waiting for miracles, because that miracle is not fair, and God is a just God. He's not going to say that guy shouldn't get his money back. No, God wants you to give him his money back. So we don't want to wait for miracles that God should cancel our debt. We want to be responsible. We want to pay back what we took in the first place. So when you take that responsibility upon yourself, what you are really saying is that I want to change. I want to become a better person. Maybe I've had some wrong value system going for me, and I want those value systems to be corrected. I want my habits that have been wrong, that have given me this debt in the first place, I want to correct those habits. And maybe I've been doing some things out of lust and out of greed. I want to get rid of greed from my life. I want to, just change myself. Because one thing you should know about life is that if you are in debt and you are in a bad debt and things, are tough for you, it's not just because it's by accident. Like I spoke yesterday, we have excuses that we give why we are in debt. I don't think you are in debt only because of accident or because, you are unlucky. Those are excuses that we give, right? But in the real sense, life is fair. Life is not fair on one hand, but on the other hand, life is fair. What I'm trying to say is that life is neutral. Life is neutral. And, laws are what is responsible for life, really. Laws. What I mean by life is fair is that even though people are not fair, life is difficult, life is tough, but life is also fair to some extent. So if you find yourself in a debt and in a bad debt right now or in your life, you don't just blame other people for it. It's not just other people that are to blame. No, I don't buy into that. There's a law in life that says that we reap what we sow. Everybody reaps what they sow. It's a law of, it's a law of sow and reap, or boomerang. It's a boomerang law. What you sow, it's what you reap. What you're getting in your life is a result of some things that you did wrong or you did right. So life is just in that sense, in the sense that life is a law. Life will not look at your face. Life will not look at your position. Life will not look at your color. Life will not look at your circumstances. Life will not give you excuses. Life will punish you if you take the wrong decisions. So if we reap what we sow, and now you are in debt, don't you think that you might have sown some things that are wrong? Not that you have sown maybe, by deceiving people. I'm saying you might have sown the wrong principle. Because, okay, for example, let's say the person who is asking me right now that if my spouse died and I went into debt as a result of that, is that am I to blame for that? If your spouse or somebody died and, it's a very sad situation and, emotionally speaking, we could say, there's nothing you could do. You went into that debt because of, tragedy, and, you never expected that your spouse would die, and that's why you are in debt. But if you are really going to look at it in a critical way, if we really want to tell ourselves the truth, if your spouse died and you went into debt because of that, that might mean that you didn't have insurance in place. You didn't have death insurance. You didn't have life insurance, and because you didn't have life insurance, that's why you went into debt. And we know that wisdom requires that we have, life insurance or death insurance or whatever you call it in your country, or you have some savings. Sometimes I have tried insurances, right? But I've discovered that insurance is for either poor people, or insurance is for people who cannot organize themselves, or insurance is for people who are gullible, who could be cheated. Insurance companies just make money on you in the first place. But if you don't want to have insurance, then have investments. If you don't want to have insurance, then have savings, have investments. That might be better, because insurances will give you maybe only how many percent? 10% out of whatever you gave, maybe less, whatever you put there, and they will be hoping that they will never pay back. That's what insurance people do. But at the end of the day, you might be able to make more of that money for yourself. At the end of the day, you can save the money and make more money on it through investment. So, but if you don't have insurance and you don't have investment and you don't have saving, anything could happen in life. Then you have yourself to blame at the end of the day, really. So, so in that sense, we could say life is fair, life is neutral. And if you have, the situation you are in, it means that you are in that situation not by accident alone, and not because of bad luck alone, and not because of other people's fault alone. You are in that situation because there are some responsibilities that you need to take upon yourself, and you need to change some of your core values. You need to change some of your habits. You need to change some of the things that got you into that problem in the first place. So life is fair. We get what we deserve in life. We get what we deserve in life. Or maybe not what we deserve, but you get what you paid for, or what you bargained for, or you get what the laws you get in life in accordance to the law that you obeyed or the law that you violated. Life is about law. Life is about principles. So if you didn't observe some laws and principles, you get the consequences. And so you've got to face those consequences. And, finding excuses and explanation why that happened and why you shouldn't pay the consequences, they don't really help, because, the consequences will begin to grow, and the punishment will begin to grow, the pain will begin to grow until it becomes unbearable. So, life on one hand, life is fair in the sense that, you obey the law, it rewards you. You disobey the law, it punishes you. You reap what you sow. You reap what you sow. That's life for you. That's life for you. So for your life to change, though, and for you not to keep on getting to that kind of, a tense and painful situation, there must be change. One thing that is constant about life is change. You always need to change when it comes to life. Because if you don't change, you keep on repeating the same pain. You keep on repeating the same process. You keep on receiving the same mistake. You keep on receiving the same punishment. You keep on reaping the same seed, the same fruit that you don't want to sow. You don't want to reap anymore. So one thing about life is that you need to constantly change. If you don't change, the same pain that you had experienced years before will keep on coming back to your life. So, and one of the ways to change is for you, if you're having a debt, or if you're having some debt, is for you to face it and say, this is my debt, I'm responsible at the end of the day, and I need help. I need help, and I need to help myself. Nobody will help me. Even God will not help me if I don't change. Even God wants you to change. Even God desires for you to change. So, and for you to change, you must take some actions. And some of the actions you have to take is that you pay your debt. And that action is one of the actions that will really help you to change. That will help you to change. And, that is part of change as well. This decision to take, the decision to change itself, how to pay your debt. The decision to pay your debt is one of the ways that you are changing, actually, because when you take the decision that I'm going to pay this debt, that means you have already started changing. That means you've already started changing, and that because it's different from saying I will not pay the debt. I'm praying for God to help me. That means you are not changing. If you don't want to pay the debt and you are saying God should help you, or God should pay for it, or God should make the debtor to cancel, or God should make this to cancel it, that means you don't want to change. That means you remain the same person you are, and you keep on making the same mistake in the future. But once you take the decision, even that singular decision that I'm going to pay what I owe, I'm not going to take responsibility. I'm not going to give responsibility on the bank or the company or the credit company or the mortgage company or my neighbor or my family. I am going to say, okay, I'm responsible. Just by saying that alone, you started changing. That decision to pay your dues and to pay your debt and to do what you need to do, that decision on its own begins to improve you and make you into a better person. And that decision and even the process of working for it, working to change that situation, working to pay the debt, that already begins to make you a better person, and it begins to safeguard you from falling into a similar situation in the future. So take responsibility for your problems. Don't blame others. Don't blame God. Don't put responsibility on God. That the act of taking responsibility itself changes you to become a better person. All right. Now, I'm sure some of you will be saying, but my situation is so bad, Pastor. The debt is so much, I cannot pay everything. Somebody is writing, Adebayo is saying here, the rich ruleth over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender. Right, the rich ruleth over the poor, Yeah, it's slavery. Borrowing is slavery. And that is Proverbs 22:7. 22:7. Well, the next point I'm trying to make here is, some of you might be thinking, Pastor, you don't know my situation. My situation is so bad. It's so bad that I cannot even afford to pay the money. Even if I want to pay the money is too much for me to pay. Or the situation is so bad, I don't make money, or I'm making too little salary, and it's never going to be enough anyway, even if I decide to pay. But it's not about paying the money that is the problem. It's not, it's not the result that really changes you. It's the process that changes you. So you just, even if you don't have the money to pay right now, just take that decision and begin the process. Once you begin the process, the process and the effort you are putting into to begin to pay the money, and the work you are doing to pay the money, that will begin to change you already. And it is the process that changes you. It is not the money. It's not for example, if I come to you, or anybody comes to you, or God comes to you and gives you a miracle and gives you $30,000 to go and pay your debt, you have not changed. You've only experienced a miracle, and you took the money to go and pay. You go and pay, but you have not changed. You have not gone through the process, and you still remain the same person you are, and you will still fall into debt and into other stories the next day or the next time, because you have not changed. But if you even don't have that $30,000 to pay your debt, and you are making just maybe $1,000 a month, but you have decided to go pay the debt, and you are going to work for it, you are working extra time, you are putting in extra effort, that extra effort you are making, and the little dollars, maybe $100 a month that you are paying, that already is changing you. What makes you a better person is the process, the decision you've taken, and the process you're going through to fulfill that decision. So what happens when the situation is so bad? What happens when the situation is so bad and you cannot just pay this money anyway? Your situation is so bad. Take the decision anyway. Take the decision, go make the efforts, go through the process of paying as much as you can. Like I said yesterday, if you are owing, you must designate just 20% of whatever money you are making to pay that debt. Let's say you are making $1,000 every month. You have some other obligations. First, you need to pay God. Second, you need to pay. You need to put some money for your purpose, for your calling. Thirdly, you need to pay yourself, and then you have some obligations. You have some bills to pay, and you need to do that as well. So, but you still have to remember even though you are owing $30,000 and you're only having $1,000 a month, but you still have to remember to pay your debt. You still have to, service your debt. And the way to do it is not to go and give 50% or 70% of your money. No, don't do that. Just remove 20% from that $1,000, that's $200, and be paying regularly every month $200. If the person doesn't want to receive small money from you, don't worry. Still be putting that money aside for servicing your debt. You could open a different bank account and be putting the money there. Let it be piling up to service your debt. And when it's big enough, like $2,000 or $3,000, go and look for a business. Put it in a business, invest it, and make money out of it. And when you begin to make money out of that money for servicing your debt, and if the person is not ready to take it, that is, while you are waiting for him to take it up, you could make it bigger. And through investment, you could make that money that you have compiled, that you have saved, go and put in some business in partnership, or use it to do some business, multiply the money, and then you'll be able to pay the debt faster. And but it's better than for you not to even make any effort. When you don't make any effort, then you don't change. You don't do good to yourself. So you say, what I'm trying to say is that when you are paying your debt, you are not just doing good to the person who you owe the money to. You are not just trying to help him or be faithful to him, and by giving him the money. Yeah, by one way you are giving him the money, but that might be helping him, but it might not help him. Maybe he doesn't even need the money. But even if he needs the money, you are not doing him a favor at all. You are doing yourself a favor. Well, you are doing yourself a favor because you are making yourself into a better person. So paying your debt is making you into a better person. And you know what will happen when you begin to make efforts like that, even though you didn't have the capacity to pay the money before, and your situation is so bad. But when God sees your actions, when God sees your efforts, when God sees that you are trying your best, God will come through for you. God will do some miracle. Maybe that's when God will come and make somebody to cancel the debt, or that's when God will come and bless you with some other extra blessings where you never expected from. God will come through for you one way or the other. God will come through and give you, more blessings than you could imagine. When God sees your actions, that you are doing your best, really, God always knows how to fix the situation for you. But you must be busy doing your best. You must be busy doing your best. Like if I were you, if I have a big debt like that, I will be working extra time. I'll be working extra work, extra job, extra duty to make sure that I do my best to get rid of that debt. And you must be working at least 10 to 18 hours a day, not just for the debt, but on one hand, you are, like I said, you are giving 20% to pay your debt, to service your debt on every month, but you must also be faithful to your investment, to paying yourself. So you must also be putting 30% aside. So some people always come with an argument that they don't have money to save and they cannot do investments. They cannot put 30% aside because they are having debt. So because they want to service your debt, you're servicing your debt is not it's not your number one priority. Your number one priority is God, and your number two priority is you. So you don't cancel your own priorities and you don't cancel your own pay yourself program just because you need to pay debt. No, you don't need to cancel your pay yourself 30% program just because you want to pay somebody quick. No. Be faithful and be principled. Be principled in the sense that you are going to pay your debt. Be faithful by paying it, but not more than 20% of what you are making, because you need 30% to pay yourself. You are the one working for it. You are the one laboring and suffering. You need to keep on paying yourself. And then you have other responsibilities too, that you must, be responsible for. So that's why 20% is just okay. Of course, if you can afford more than 20%, of course, maybe it's better for you to do that. Maybe you can do that, but that's just the standard I would recommend for you to do. So when you are paying your debt, when you are helping somebody, you are actually improving yourself. You are not just improving or doing anybody a favor. You are actually doing good to yourself. You are doing good to yourself. And one of the things that will also happen to you when you are paying your debt and you are returning what you owe other people is that you will discover that you now have the desire and the capacity to obey the laws of money. If you are in debt and you are in bad debt, it means that you have disobeyed some laws of money. It means you have violated some laws of money. You've violated some laws. But when you are working on yourself and you are controlling your spending, and when you are working extra time to pay your debt, and when you take that decision, you begin to be more conscious of the laws of money that you are breaking or that you have violated. So just taking the decision to pay your debt and making all efforts to do that brings you back to the right principles of life. It begins to correct your value system, and you want to begin to live by the laws of money, or you want to begin to find out. You need to begin to find out how money works. Because when you really want to pay your debts, you should begin to study as well. You begin to study how money works. What are the laws of money that you have broken, and how can you begin to observe those laws? And once you begin to observe the laws of money, it will be blessing you not just in terms of paying your debt. It will be blessing you in more money than you could imagine. You will be getting more revelation, more understanding, and you'll be improving your life, changing principles, the wrong principle that you have lived by before, and to begin to live on the right principles. Someone is asking, John is asking, when you can't save because you are taking care of your old mom. Well, John, that shows me that you are here either for the first time or you've not been listening to my teachings all week long. Go back to my, to the recordings. You can get the recordings on my blog, Adelajah blog.com, or you can get the recordings on my YouTube channel, Sandey Adelaja Official. So go listen to some of the old recordings. You will see that, I've given too much knowledge and insight on how to deal with that kind of situation. Who is this? Ooh, he's writing a lot. Who is that? Who is writing so much? Ooh, I don't think I'm going to read all this, man. This is a lot. My God. What's his name? Ayodeji Solomon Bello. Wow. I think the people will read it. I think people will read it after I will read it after the program, but I think people also will read it after the program. But this guy is giving a good testimony here, and that we might want to read afterwards. Okay. So yes, you take responsibility for your problem. Don't run away with it, and in the process, you are changing. You are becoming a better person. When it comes to debt, though, your determination must not just stop in the area of determination that I want to pay the debt. Okay, I will pay. I know a lot of people that say, "Oh, I will pay now. I will pay," but I just can't. That's all not serious. That's all wrong. If you really want to pay, you have to pay the price too. If you really want to pay, go get extra job. If you really want to pay, go work extra hours. If you really want to pay, cut your budget, cut your expenses, prove it that you want to pay. And let the people you are owing see your efforts. When they see your efforts, that you are doing your best, that you are working hard, they will not be able to condemn you anymore, and they will not be cursing you anymore. And the curse of a debtor will not be on your head because you are trying your best. But when you are not trying your best and you are just promising and saying, "Oh, I'm going to pay, I will pay, oh, I'll pay," you are deceiving yourself, and you cannot deceive God. And you cannot deceive the laws of nature. The laws of nature begin to punish you. And, and the consequences of death begin to chase after you. And the curses of death begin to haunt you bad. So if you don't want that to happen to you, sincerely face your decision to pay the debt and to do everything you can do to relieve other person that you are owing that money to. And some people always say, "What about if this happens? What about if that happens?" Tell yourself that you don't want to compromise. Tell yourself that you have taken that decision and you will not compromise. So no, looking at the situation and thinking, okay, what about if that happens? Things will always happen. Things will always happen in life. That's not an excuse. But once you take the decision to be responsible, once you take the decision to be faithful, just keep to it. Keep to it. And don't look for any argument. Even when arguments come legitimately, try to summon those arguments and try to, be faithful to your decision. Because your decision to pay your debt is one of the greatest things that could happen to you. Because it will change you. It will make you into a better person. It will make you to discover some of the greatest, I know people who have become a millionaire just because they wanted to pay their debt. Because they are working hard, they are going to study, they are working on themselves, they are improving themselves, and they discover oil well in the process. Or, they discover well of wisdom in the process just because they want to be responsible. So if you are working 10 to 18 hours every day just because you want to keep your word, because you want to, pay your debt, you know what will happen? God will begin to help you. Somebody says, "Oh, I'm not lucky in life." Yeah, you are not lucky because you are lazy. Yeah, you are not lucky because you are not prepared. Yeah, you are not lucky because you are not working hard enough. Yeah, you are not lucky because you are not diligent enough. But people who are really diligent, who are preparing themselves all the time, they always get lucky. People who are working 14 hours every day, 18 hours every day. You know what? I forgot who said is that. He said, "You know what? I discovered that when I work every day for 18 hours and I push myself to the limit on daily basis, I discovered that I begin to get lucky. I begin to get lucky. Luck begins to look for me when I work 18 hours every day." Well, that's the only way luck finds you. The only people who get lucky in this world are people who are working extra hours and going extra mile. So, luck and God will always come to your aid when you are demonstrated to God that you are doing your best. Miracle actually is as a result of doing your best. So do your best, then God will show you His mercy. Do your best, God will show you His miracle. Do your best, God will come to your aid. But when you are not doing your best yet, when you are not doing the absolute best you could do, sometimes we use the word "I do my best," but we are actually doing minimum. Sometimes we say I do our best, but you are actually doing not too much. You are doing just, averagely. But when you work 18 hours every day and you are working and striving and, struggling and reading and maturing yourself, then you are working, you are doing your best. Then God will come to your aid. So, and what another advantage of really working hard to offload and offset your burden your debt burden is that in the process of doing that, you begin to realize all the mistakes you've made. You begin to realize all the mistakes you've made, and the pictures of the wrong habits and the wrong actions and the wrong things you did will begin to come back to your mind. And you begin to see, oh, that's what I did wrong. Oh, this is what I did wrong. And at the end of the day, you begin to value more the money in itself. You begin to value the money that you make because you are working for it. And you begin to value much more the money that other people have lent you or are lending to you, or you are borrowing from other people, because you now value the process of making it. You are going through the process of making that money, and then you are valuing it more. So, and when you value money more, then you don't want to throw it up and down. Then you want to be more responsible for it. So a lot of good things happen to you when you actually decide to pay your debt, because that will lead you to read more, to seek more, and to learn more. Tomilola Taylor says, the truth is you do better when you are debt free. You look better, and you even have the ability to be more creative and think clearly. That's true. Work to be debt free first. You can't set others free if you yourself you are bound. Yeah, that's so true. Ogbeni Temitope Okubote says, sir, I'm blessed by your teachings and I now look forward to it. Also, would love to see you live life ministry in Nigeria. Please say a word into my life this week. Okay, well, Temitope, you are going to see me live in Nigeria by the grace of God. I don't know if you know about this, but I'm actually planning, to move back to Nigeria finally after living in Europe for 30 years. And I'm set right now, getting my plans in place. I'm building a team. I want to come to Nigeria with a team of 2,000 people. And I have about 200 people already from here in Ukraine, and they are coming with me to Nigeria. And so I'm also appealing to anybody that wants to be a part of history, and you want to change Africa, you want to help and contribute to what God is going to be doing in Nigeria, in Africa in general. You want to be a part of history making. If you feel that you want to be a part of my team and go with me to Nigeria, I will advise you to write to me. Or go to my blog, go to sundayadelaja.blog.com, and you'll see a banner there, a section there called Nigeria, or We Change Nigeria, or Nigerian Transformation. So go and press that, and then you can fill the form, and you register for the newsletter. We're going to keep you updated and abreast on a regular basis. So go and do that, or in the alternative, you can write to me. My email is pastor@godembassy.org, pastor@godembassy.org. And that's and also I also wrote a book on how I see us resolving the problem of Nigeria. It's called Nigeria and the Leadership Question. So you might want to get that on Amazon as well. Okay, that's about Nigeria. Well, when you decide to, like what we're talking about today is pay your debt. Pay your debt. When you decide to pay your debt, let me tell you another good thing that happens to you. You come to your senses. You come down from fantasy world to earth. You are pulled down from fantasy world to real. You come back down to the earth. You come down to the earth. That means you come to your senses. You begin to see life the way they are, not the way you presume that they were, and that's a good thing. It's a good thing to see life the way it is, and not to live in a fantasy world, and not to live in a world of deception. Not to live in a world of deception. So, and another thing that will do for you when you begin to pay your debt and you are really responsible, you are serious about it, you are, pay you as much as you could, 20% every month, you are working for it 18 hours a day, you have more peace of mind when you begin to do that. You begin to just have peace of mind that, oh, at least you know you are trying your best. You know you are trying your best. You begin to have peace of mind that, well, you are not running away. I'm not being deceptive. You have peace with yourself. And that's a good thing. When you have peace with yourself, you have peace with God. Even if your debtors are still not so happy with you, but at least you have peace that at least God is my witness. I'm doing all I could. I'm trying my best. God knows it, that I'm working 18 hours and I'm ready to give you every month what I make. And so when you have peace, that means that you also lose your fear. Because when you are in debt, you have some funny feelings. A lot of wrong things begin to happen to you. When you are in debt, you don't have peace. When you are in debt, you are in fear. When you are in debt, you are always worrying about something or the other. When you are in debt, you just have, you have sleepless nights. You are thinking of borrowing from another person to cover for that debt. A lot of things just happen to you that are not always very good. So, and you are always thinking, what should you do? And, where should you go and work? Where should you find the money? And what should you do? And so, you don't want to do that. You don't want to, once you are paying your debt, you want to get rid of and it's not something you do by your choice. God helps you. It gives you more peace. It gets you out of your worries. It makes sure that you have more peace of mind. It gets you out of your fears. And then you begin to, have more peace in you doing the will of God. So I am, I am going to encourage you, and I want to encourage you that, go ahead and do what you need to do. And another thing is that when you take your decision to pay your debt, and you actually begin to pay that debt, and you explain your position to your family, your wife, your spouse, or your husband that, I want to be truthful. I want to live right. I want to pay my debt. I want to do what I need to do. And this is what I'm doing. I'm working extra time. I'm paying 20% every month. And, and if when your family sees that you are working in the truth, if they are truthful people, if they are faithful people, you begin to have more peace in your family as well. Because most of the time when you are having debt, your family will not have peace also. Your wife will be worried. She will be concerned that people are calling you. They are looking for her. They are running after you people. And, you will not have harmony in that family. And, your family will not be happy. Your children will not be happy. It's just a bad case scenario when you are having debt. And especially when it's gone so bad and people are looking for you. So, for you, so one of the things that will come to your life when you decide to really, pay what doesn't belong to you, when you begin to pay your debt, is that you begin to have more peace in your home. You begin to have more peace in your family. Your wife will at least have some peace with you, and she will also know that you are responsible. She will be happy that you are trying to be responsible. Your husband or your family members will be happy that that you are trying your best, that you are being responsible. Even if they don't tell you that, they will respect you in their mind. And you want your children to respect you. You want your family to respect you. And if you want that to happen, do what is right. When you are doing what is right, it's easier for people to respect you. But when you are doing what is not right, it's even difficult for your own family members to respect you. So, when it comes to debt, again, let me tell you that don't wait until you have all the money before you pay. Because that's what some people do. They are waiting until they have all the money before they pay. Don't wait until you have all the money. No, just live by the principle. And the principle is that you are making money, you are working 18 hours as much as you can, and you are paying 20% out of the money that you need to pay, that you are owing. You are paying every month, even if the person refuses to take it. You are taking it to the bank, you are piling it up, you are saving it, or you are even using it as an investment to quickly make it to come to pass. So little by little, begin to take the money that you owe, begin to pay back the money that you owe. It is little things that grow to become big. You don't wait for when you have all the money. It doesn't always happen like that. Just pay from the little you have. Okay. Another thing that's about debt is that once you take that position of paying your debt, once you have taken that position of living right before God and man and being in harmony with yourself, with God, and with the person that you are owing money to, that is a position of truth, and it's a position of righteousness. And truth is a defense. Truth is a defense. Once you have taken the position of truth, you know that you are truthful in the sense that you have decided to pay the debt. You are truthful that you are working as much as you can do. You are doing your best. You are working the truth. You are living in the truth by paying 20% regularly. You are living in the truth by not hiding. You are living in the truth by telling the truth the way things are. When you begin to do all that, truth will always set you free. Truth will become a defense to you. Truth will begin to defend you, and righteousness will begin to fight for you. And they will, both righteousness and truth will find a way for you to come out of the problem we are in. So so don't be afraid of taking the decision to pay your debt. Now, let me tell you another thing that this will do for you, though. Another thing that the decision to pay your debt will do for you is that I think it's Friedrich Nietzsche. You remember the philosopher, the German philosopher. I think it's Friedrich Nietzsche, the German philosopher, who says that whatsoever is not killing us, whatsoever did not kill us, is making us stronger. So whatsoever has not killed you or is not killing you will make you stronger. So even though it may be painful as you are going through that process, right, of paying your debt, even though it might be painful and it might, you might be feeling that you are dying, but if it has not killed you, you are not dead yet. Whatever is not killing you, whatever has not killed you, whatever is not killing you is making you stronger. Whatever has not killed you is making you stronger. So, just know that you are getting stronger in the real sense. As you are going through the pain of paying that debt, as you are going through the pain of, going through the process of, working and, working hard and giving 20% of your income out every time, that is not making you weaker. It's making you stronger in the real sense. So, don't be afraid of facing the fact, facing the truth. Don't be afraid of telling yourself the truth. Don't be afraid of, doing what is right. When you are doing the right thing, even though it's painful, but it's going to make you stronger at the end of the day. It's going to make you stronger at the end of the day. And then, another thing is that, by the time you finish going through the process and you finish paying the debt, you will discover that you would have changed your value system. You would have discovered that, some wrong patterns have left your life. And you will discover that some of the wrong habits you were having also have disappeared because you have started living right. And, the process itself of paying all that debt, all those years, they change you. The process itself is what changes you. Yeah. And another thing you could do with, this debt, especially when you have started living by this principle, or if you have paid your debt already, or you are paying your debt, begin to share your experience with other people. Try to help other people get out of debt as well. Advise people, talk to people that you are the same situation, but that God helped you, and tell them about your principle, because some people don't just know the right principles to use when they are in debt. They just want to hide, and we're all like that. We want to hide. We want to run away from responsibility. But if you have this experience, or you are even this teaching, you could help other people to follow this teaching, and it will bless somebody else as well. So, but the most important thing, of course, is for you to get rid of those things that brought you into debt in the first place. Get rid of those things that first got you into debt in the first place. Well, number one, change your environment. Change your environment. Maybe it's your environment that, if you are living in the environment of people who like to live in debt and like to borrow, you want to change that environment. Change your environment, because sometimes our life is just a reflection of our environment. Number two, do your own personal investigation and find out what are the things that are wrong in your character traits and in your value system, in your mindset that led you to that debt, and work on it and try to remove it, so that those things, those are the greatest things you need to do, really. Working on yourself from inside. It's not the money that you are paying that's the most important thing, but working on yourself from inside. Another thing you want to get rid of is that, anytime you get into greed, into debt, there is a form of greed that is connected to that most of the time. So look into yourself, and dig down into your heart. And if there is any amount of greed inside, try to monitor that and try to get rid of greed in your life. Try to to change yourself. Another thing is, when you are in financial situation and in debt situation, it's always connected to the fact that we went into that debt because of wrong motives. So what is the motive for you getting money? What is the motive for you trying to be rich? Your motive should be for you to fulfill the plan of God for your life, to bring the kingdom of God to the earth. And so you must, check your motives. Your motive must be connected with eternal values. Your motive must be connected with God. So your motive must be poor, and it is the process of paying your debt that sometimes that you'll be able to do that. You'll be able to become a better person. And let's face it, if you are in debt, it means that you might not be good in money management. So that's one of the things that you want to get rid of. You want to work on yourself to be better money manager, and to so that you don't go into that kind of problem anymore. You will not neglect the things that you used to neglect. You will not be so surface kind of and peripheral when it comes to money. You want to be more serious and learn the act of money management. And if you are in debt, it means you don't know the loss of money. So you want to go and study and learn some loss of money that will make you prevent you from going into that kind of problem anymore. And another thing that might have been responsible for you going to debt is because you are not cutting your coat according to your size. Maybe you are under the dictate of this world, so you to make money and spend money. And if you are the one that that is spending a lot of money, maybe that's another thing you want to change. You want to get rid of just spending money anyhow. And another thing that could get people into debt is what they call emotional spending. Emotional spending. Like, I read a message here yesterday or 2 days ago that says money is not emotional. So you might want to get rid of those emotions, and some of those things are the things that will help you. At the end of the day, the good thing that will happen to you after all this is that you will become a better person. You will have changed your value system. You will have changed your value system, and things would have been better for you. Well, my time is going fast, and that's about it for today. I want to ask you if to go and share the link, if you don't mind. Let's go and share this link. Let's go and share this link with people. And let's go share the link, please. And another thing I want you to do is to write your decisions. If you don't mind, write your decisions and let me know what you are thinking, what this teaching has given you, or what you have learned from this teaching. Okay, Kike Loma is already here with their decision. I remember being in debt and living in fear. Yes, you see, when you are in debt, you live in fear. I was always watching my bank account as many times as I missed payments and had late payments on my credit record. I was always calling banks and credit card providers and negotiating with them to remove such notifications off my record. We then aggressively paid our debts. However, what we didn't do was to save for investment concurrently. Now I know that the best way to get rid of debt is to actively save away for investment and set aside about 20% of my earnings for debt repayment. That's so true. Thank you, Kike. You gave me a good answer there. Ojo Olasukomi says, please kindly pay attention to Billy Matthew. Pastor, she needs help. Who is Billy Matthew? I don't know. Maybe that's one person who is writing here. Maybe. Ogbeni Okunbote say, thank you, sir, for today. A word before you go, sir. Speak into my life. Well, I speak favor, grace, and blessings unto you and to others as well in Jesus' name. Abiodu Abraham is saying, it doesn't make sense to be saving while you are owing. I need to settle my debt first. Okay, that's what you think. Well, you better listen to somebody who is more experienced than you. I will have advised you to listen to this teaching and the teachings before now. Landon Adebayo said, the wicked borrowed and pay not again, but the righteous shows mercy and gives. Yeah. That is from Psalm 37:21. Obina said, the wicked borrows and does not repay, but the righteous shows mercy and gives. That's the same thing we read. Ayodeji Solomon says, I was once in debt due to bad business decision. It was very painful and couldn't fulfill my financial obligations. I took a practical step to set myself free from the debt the day I stumbled on Proverbs 22, verse 7, which says, the rich rules over the poor, and the borrower is the slave of the lender. Yeah. Shidi Obinalo says, I decided years ago I would never borrow or beg, and God's been helping me to always meet my need. But you are helping me on the area of saving the money I save the further I run from debt. Yes. Anyway, please write what this teaching has given you, what you think that you got from this teaching. Please go ahead and write your thoughts and your decisions, please. Shidi Umbenus, I've decided I will make saving my lifestyle culture, okay? Nkiru says, living in debt makes one not to live life to the fullest. I refuse to own no one. I own one thing only one, love. That's the only thing we should own. Rael Emmanuel is asking me in Russian language. Здравствуйте, пастор мой. Мой вопрос, а как вы поступали, что сделали, когда вы узнали, что Бог взял вас для Украины, и какое отношение стало с Библией английского языка одновременно вы читали Библию? Да, когда я понял, что мне надо здесь оставаться, чтобы проповедовать по-русски, я сначала нашел Библию на русском и на английском. Там есть такие Библии, где с одной стороны русский язык, с другой стороны английский язык. И я стал читать вот так. И это мне помогало улучшить язык. А потом я стал общаться с людьми, которые говорят по-русски. И стал с ними общаться, говорить чаще с ними. И потом практиковать и проповедовать. Вот так. Надо то же самое делать, если у вас такая же ситуация. Martin says, thank you, Pastor. Another insightful and practical applications for life. God bless you, sir. Yeah, well, thank you, everybody. If you have not shared this link, please, let's go ahead and do it. And, yes, I think my time is up for today. I'll be back tomorrow. Tonight, actually. I'll be back tonight. Yeah, somebody is saying, Betty is saying, please, everyone, pray for Pastor Sunday every day. Yeah, I need your prayers. I will be happy if you pray for me every day. Because, yeah, I need those prayers. Thank you so much. And I will see you tonight. God bless. Go share the link and go spread the news. God bless. Bye.